Alrighty, welcome everyone. Today it's going to be a short stream because I've started late. Some Bitcraft again. I was on for a while last night, but sadly it seems that the bots were disabled, so that will forever be forgotten to the void of history. And it was such a fun stream as well. Helped with the Spartans claim setup and got attacked by jackals. That was before they fixed the whole gates having to stop the jackals, and they were not stopping them, so some people had some issues with it. Fortunately, we heard about it. The first night after we set up the claim, well, the first day, during the day, we brought in materials to start off with the crafting station and so on, but it was a little bit tricky because apparently the jackals would attack them. I don't know that any of us were ready for it. I think we all just assumed that being in the... what's it called? Being in the claim, it would be safe. But it turns out that it wasn't quite the case. So we basically started doing some experiments, trying to figure out what would be able to... Oh, okay, we crashed. We tried to figure out what would be able to stop them. The first thing that came to mind was the fence, simply because it's cheap to make. But it was not really the solution. It did, I guess, stopped the wolves, well, the jackals, but they would be able to damage them and then get through. So next, with some playing around by placing lots of fences so that the jackals were kept entertained and allowed me to chop some trees, I got a few logs and started to build some actual wall. And by actual wall, I mean, now that we're back in the game, this one's the wooden wall. And after they finished chewing on their small fences, which from that moment on became known as the chew toys, they ignored the wooden wall completely and went for me, which was the best result that we could have hoped for, as weird as that might sound. So I just went to the water for safety, and having managed that success, lured the wolves that were around our claim area away by just kiting them and then losing them, and then proceeded to build a whole bunch of these things because I had a lot of wood, and that would keep them off my back and give me time to do other stuff. I didn't really have a proper weapon, so I was not really equipped to kill them. So I was basically just doing sort of crowd control. Eventually, War Dog arrived and started to get rid of them and ease some of my load of having to build these things while I was chopping trees to build these other things. And we set off to building the whole thing, fencing the whole claim. And yeah, it was a success. I think we can proudly say that it was likely one of the very first claims to successfully set up and start like be protected from animals and start growing. After that, yeah, I mean, it was fun also because we were doing a whole bunch of shenanigans kind of opening up a little bit of the gate to see if we could bring a few of the jackals at night and be able to hunt them easily. That worked well because we set up a bunch of chew toys around the claim, so they would go, like we would surround ourselves with wall, they would go in, and then they would start chewing on the walls and completely ignoring us. So we were pretty safe. And then we were able to just one at a time take them down and get their fur. Sadly, at that point there was another bug, that was that the fur was stacking in stacks of one, and all of our deployable storages were back in the starting town, so we sadly weren't able to exploit, not an exploit because that's still a valid strategy if anybody wants to build a hunting camp. I think it's still a valid strategy to just set up a claim surrounded by wall, and then you have an inner wall where players sit in, you throw a bunch of chew toys around, and then when night comes, everybody goes in the circle, you open the door a little bit, the enemies go in, and then you just go out and go start getting them one at a time, so it's nice and easy. But yeah, that was basically how the first stream was played. I also built a little bit of road, worked a little bit on gathering the materials for that road. I had been trying to get enough hex coin to buy a goat, because as soon as I saw when Mention 3 Blade were streaming before the servers went up, they opened up the Rumba store, and everybody just basically reacted the same way, because there was a goat which was a mount, which is something that everybody's been wanting for a while, and it costed 5,000 hex coins, which was, I mean, still is a lot. I know that a bunch of people just probably did the same as me, which was trying to find a way to grind that hex coin. I used bricks, because it was 250 hex coins for 10 bricks. Planks was a more straightforward process, but it was 100 coins for 10 planks. I still am not sure which is the more efficient. I mean, the bricks have, so let's see, the planks are how many steps? Logs into wood, that's one step. Wood into strip wood, that's another step. Strip wood into planks, that's 3 steps. And of course you have to gather the wood. For bricks, you have rocks into like smaller rocks, that's the first step. Then smaller rocks into crushed. Then you have the crushed rocks and you need mud, so that's an additional resource. And you turn them into paste, sort of. And that's a 3rd step. And then the paste gets formed into bricks, that's 4 steps. And then the bricks go into the kiln with wood as well, with one of, not like one of the basic woods, for 5 minutes. So that's a 5th step and a 5-minute passive on that step. I don't know that it should, like that, the value, I'm not sure about the value, like the ratio. I would have to, like, I don't know, 1 hour just full on focus, make planks and see what results that yields me, and then 1 hour full on make bricks and see what results I get. But because this is an alpha and things are bound to change, I don't think that would make a lot of sense. So I think for now I'm just gonna do whatever seems more fun at any given time. Right now I'm just clearing up this trader stand because I have built this one, but apparently you can only set up one trading stall at a time. At any given point there can only be one of these. I had gotten two because I wanted to have one for wood, basically, like forestry and carpentry resources, and then the other one place it by the masonry and mining area, and have that just sort of be trades relating to that. Unfortunately, that's not possible. It is something that I have brought up to the devs and hope that at some point it might change, but for now that's not really possible. So I'm not sure. Okay, so the main difference between these two, for storage, this one is 6, that one is 5 item storage, this one is 15. So that is good, but one of the main things that I want to see is if the improved one would give me more listings, because ultimately that was the reason that I wanted to have 2 stalls. Well, part of the reason. So I would want to have more listings, because I don't do just one thing. For a player that does just one thing, then yes, one trader stand is probably enough, at least early on. And I say at least early on because later on there's another factor that might come into play. Eventually, you know, right now everybody's sort of centered in the one town, and it's sort of easy because everybody has access to the same resources and they're just trading in between jobs, right? I don't do hunting or leather working, so to build this improved trader stand, which costs, no, not that one, this one here, it costs the one trader stand which I can build, the schematic that you can buy for hex coin, the planks that I can build, and then refined rough leather, which I cannot produce. However, Rumba, the same person that buys the planks, also buys refined products, and one of them is leather. Rumba would buy them for 125 hex coin. So I basically posted a listing on my stall, offering to buy refined rough leather at 150 hex coin. So that's better for the player. They can get a bit more hex coin for their product, and I get my leather. I did have to sort of, I guess, advertise the trade, because I don't know that many people would be making or producing refined products to sell, because making these ones is also an interdisciplinary process. It involves, I think for this one it's just, was it farming? No, farming is for the cloth. So for leather, I think the rare resource that they used was the hair from hunting. And then there was something else, I can't remember what it was, that you needed to do something in the scholar table and then use that with this, and then so that's like three jobs that are sort of involved in the process of making this one thing. And I don't think everybody's gonna be a scholar. I want to think of scholar as a skill that some people can choose and sort of focus on. I hope that's the case. It's starting to look, at least for me, that it could be something that becomes a necessity just because of the refined things everybody needs to do, and refined things as part of their job. And basically, if you would want to go into leather working as your main job, you could do hunting for getting the resources, leather working as your main crafting, but at some point you're gonna need to get the things to do the refinements. It's something that I'm still not entirely convinced it's balanced in a good way. It's hard to describe without actually having the skills and going around and doing the things. At some point later on I might do that, just to show how it works, and also to try to understand better what my problem with it is. I did I did a little bit of everything on the Alpha 2, and that was one of the things that it felt wrong, but I couldn't quite put my finger on why or how. It's kind of how I felt that deployables were monopolized by carpentry, which I think they were, and now the storage is built by the mason. I think that's good. I do like spreading around things that sort of, I guess, force different jobs to interact in a way, because that should promote trade. But what ends up happening is people just take more different jobs in order to get the things that they need for the main thing that they want to do. I think one of the ways that could be fixed is either more trading stalls or more slots per trading stall, because going back to where this whole thing came from, I was explaining why I wanted more trading stalls, and that's because I wanted more trading slots, like more listing slots, to be able to offer more things for more things and try to get other things that I can't get. The second reason, or what I was, I guess at some point before I lost myself in my own train of thought trying to get to, was that eventually people will spread out, and it won't be like right now where everyone is in the same place and has access to the same resources and it's trading in between jobs. There will be a point where, starting on probably tier 3 and above, I'm not sure if tier 3 is already all over the place or if it's mainly in one place, but definitely tier 4, 5, and 6 are spread around all over. So claims or settlements that have set up in specific areas would be of high interest to either a gatherer or a crafter. A gatherer can probably do with just the one trading stand, because you can just gather the things that you need around you and sell them. There's really not much more to it. But whenever you are crafting, you're going to need different types of different tiers of items. If you're tier 5 carpenter, you're going to need tier 4, tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1 materials along the whole process. I mean, to make the tier 5, the only one that you actually need is the tier 4. So if I had 2 trading stalls and I was a tier 5 carpenter, what I would do is I would have one trading stall in an area that's close to tier 4 trees, and then another one in an area that's near tier 5 trees. when I go to the tier 4, I would be trying to sell the tier 5 products that I made with my tier 5 skill to buy tier 4 resources that I need, so that I wouldn't have to procure tier 3 and below, because otherwise I would need a really large or a really wide net to sort of satisfy what I need to produce that one thing, whereas having 2 trading stalls would allow me to place one on each side, and on each of them I would place what I want to sell, and I would put listings on what I want to buy. Hopefully I would move in between those 2 places. When I go to the tier 4 area, I would bring with me tier 5 products, probably finished products to a certain extent, maybe some variety, but probably mostly finished products. And I would be buying tier 4 materials that I would need to make more products. Then I would go to the tier 5 area and I would buy tier 5 raw materials. So at the tier 4 claim I would buy the finished materials, and on the tier 5 I would buy the raw materials. And that way, I'm sorry, I had a bit of a cough fit. Anyway, and that way you can keep progressing as a specialist, but you need a way to easily trade for the things that you need. And sorry, I'm gonna mute for a second. Alrighty, I'm back. So yeah, basically that's my take on trading stalls, and that is the reason why I am clearing out my stock, because I need to clear out my stock in order to pull that in and bring the other one out, because as I said, you can only deploy one stall, not even to move between this one and the other one. If I collect that one, then everything that I have in here would just go to the ground. I could use my personal storage to deal with that, but my personal storage is full of masonry crafting things in the masonry area. Can't really use that either. So yeah. I actually also wonder if, because the personal storage has the same, like you could have a tier 1 and a tier 2. On the previous test you could deploy one, like you had a maximum of 4 things that you could deploy. So you could deploy a tier 1 and a tier 2 at the same time and sort of like organize. Not with these ones, I mean the storage. I never, like I used the trader stall very seldomly, and it ended up basically functioning more as storage than anything else, mostly just because of the way that trading was not as easy to do back then. It's a little bit easier now, not as much as I'd like. We did get this neat little function that a lot of us had been asking for a while, but sadly it only seems to be showing us NPC trades. That's not a bad thing, because it will show you where the trade is available in the map. One of the things that had been a pain before was trying to find traders when you wanted to get something from them. And if my voice sounds rude, it's because I have a small caramel in my mouth to ease my throat. But yeah, like for example, everything that has these 23 offers, like this one that's at 25 distance, this is a rumba. Things that traders that have these 11 offers, that I can see 2 of them. One of them is in the east and one is in the west, I think. Oh no, actually this one is in the north. So they, yeah, they have moved. There's one here and one here, I guess around the center of the map. I'm assuming this one is actually this one, and this one is sort of like in here. And those would be the twins, Laru and Varu. They're the ones that sell us masks and, in the past, cosmetics, as in clothing. Right now, that also saw a little bit of a revamp. Cosmetic clothes are still a thing, but they are basically the normal clothes that we make, and we can place them in the vault and display them as our cosmetic clothing. I did get my little cat ears mask, which has been a trademark for the whole testing period and will probably remain the trademark. And then, yeah, it would be very useful if this functionality would also apply for players. If you open the filters, you do have this thing. So like if I hide the travelers, it's showing me something. What do you have here? Oh, it shows the improved stalls only? No, see, this is a rough barter stall. Okay, so, oh, I know what it is. Oh, this is annoying. Oh. This is annoying. So basically what's happening here, trader stalls have 2 modes. You have market mode, and you have the barter mode. Apparently, if you put it on barter mode, it will show. I wonder if my own would show if I do that. Hide the traveler's offers. No, it's only showing Tortuga and Bison. I don't know if people have realized this, like if these people have realized that this is like this, or if it's just that they are, I guess, playing around with the settings. I mean, this guy obviously does have a barter trade set up. Not sure why they're offering these things for such little value. This thing will sell for 15 coins with Rumba, and that one will sell, I think, for 60 with, I believe, Heimlich. I'm guessing it's because the Tortugan claim does not have any trader in, and whoever is hunting is just getting tons of these things and is too lazy to go and find the vendors to get them. These were also stacking at 1 in your inventory, so like you have 25 slots, you could only carry 25 of these. That was a bug. Starting this test, everything that used to stack 1, because there were some items that were that way, is designed to stack 10. That is supposed to have been fixed by now, although I'm not sure if it's been applied on this latest update, but it's in the patch notes. They ran into some trouble with the last update and had to roll back, and I'm not entirely sure what has been applied and what hasn't, but it is something that they have fixed or will fix. So yeah, that person was probably just overflowing with these things and just wanted to get rid of them, and other people in the claim were like, well, just post them there and I'll grab them and I'll find a trader and get the hex coin, which is fair. And this person is buying skewered baitfish, which, I mean, okay, that's good for them, I guess. But yeah, mine is not showing in my own search. I will probably ask someone later to check and confirm it. But yeah, that's what I am assuming. That I'm assuming that the ones that have market mode on are not showing. What else do I need to get rid of? I think I can probably go right now. Let's get that. Yeah, there we go. Let's collect that. And let's just post it nicely here so everybody knows this is for this. No, actually, maybe a little bit further here. Nope. I did not tell you where I wanted to put it. There we go. What is the front of it? Looks like the lower side on the left here. Do I want to place it here? I also want it to be in range of that. What is the range? The range, okay, it's actually where I'm standing. Or, no, I did not tell you to grab the cart. The range goes up to this thing. Alright, right about there. Yeah, that works. I wonder if that's the same place that I had initially placed it at. Probably. I'm not one to overthink things. Of course. Trust me on that. Now, this one doesn't have anything in it, so I can grab it. And now I need to remember what I wanted to do. I still want to get rid of these things, although I don't know that they'll actually sell. And I have 14 listings, so that's better. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna leave it on market mode. And I'm going to make individual listings. The market mode is a lot easier to deal with. Oh, did they actually add tools? No. Yes. Yes, there are tools here for me to buy. Okay. Interesting. Is that showing in market mode but not... I mean on barter mode but not on market mode? Yeah, no. Now they're here. So previously, if I wanted to buy a Pyrolite weapon... Oh, it might have been because I touched Pyrolite ingot. That might have been the case. That wood? I'm not sure what they're talking about. There we go. That's probably what they meant. I was sawing wood. Anyway. I want to buy tools. So I actually want to buy so many things. I'm gonna ask Global. I'm getting swamped. I don't know if they want me to post what I had posted before, which was wood. But anyway, I want to add a listing where I want to get rid of the bark. I don't know if I'll be able to get rid of the bark, but I want to sell my bark at 1 hex coin each. Nope. Of course, I was going to close that. Let me put that up here. That's what that was not showing. So bark is going to be sold at 1. That counts as 1 offer. If I was to buy it at 1, it's still 1 offer. Okay, that's good, that's good. I don't know that that's actually the case, because previously I had 5 things with a selling and buying, and that filled up my offers, which I think was 10 on the regular stall. No, people are talking on my Discord, so if I look like I'm speaking with myself, it's because I'm talking with them. Yeah, I'm muted because I started streaming and I still wanted to hear you guys. I have you unmuted on, well, I have you muted on the stream, so they are not hearing you at all. And by they, I mean no one, because I don't think there's anyone in there right now. But this will save my VOD. But yeah, that's why I'm muted. I'm still here and I still hear you. And I appreciate you guys. Alright, they were just wondering why I was muted. Let me adjust my volumes a bit. So yes, let's turn that off for now, because I'm not interested in buying any tree bark. I probably want to sell my planks, but because I don't have a nice number of them, I'm going to post a listing for planks, and I'm going to sell them at 10 each. If anybody would want to sell any to me, I wouldn't say no, and I would pay 9, because this is what I like. If they buy them from me at 10, it's the same as me going over to Rumbao, and Rumbao is right nearby. I would only buy it if I was able to make a profit on it, and that's at below 10. I also want to add a listing for logs, and I mean cargo logs. Trunks, not logs, right? Was it? Trunk? Yeah, it is a trunk. So I want to buy trunks because sometimes I'm lazy and I don't want to go into the woods. And also because my carpentry is only level 24, while my forestry is level 28. So to sort of help them to catch up a little bit, I might just try to get a little bit of free wood and get the carpentry going. Sort of the same that... oh, actually no, it's the opposite in between mining and masonry. That's very interesting. So masonry progresses faster than mining. I have worked with purchased logs, purchased rocks, but only about 20. And I also have purchased trunks, but maybe about 10, or maybe more. So it's probably about the same. I have done about the same proportionally in terms of I've gotten my own wood to do carpentry and I've gotten my own rocks to do masonry, and masonry is progressing a lot faster than mining, probably because masonry has more steps to make the bricks, which is what I was doing, and carpentry has more steps, but because planks is what you sell, I haven't done anything else with the planks. I haven't been doing these things. Maybe if you do these things, you would also get the same experience, which actually makes me think, and I'm gonna write it down somewhere because I want to send this to the devs as an observation. When grinding for hex coins, if one is to gather their own materials and do the processing, carpentry progresses slower than forestry, but masonry progresses faster than mining. I feel this has to do with the number of steps involved. Maybe for carpentry, it would be better if Rumbal was to buy, what's it called, timber? Rough timber, and not just planks. Because I can see the points against it. This is cargo, whereas this is an inventory item, so it's a lot easier to, like, right now there's a rumba right, wait, where is it? Right over there. But if I was in another claim, like a player made claim, like here, like, I don't know where the nearest rumba would be, and that might be a chore. And if I just have to worry about my inventory things, then that's fine. I can just pack up my inventory with planks or bricks and run around, find a rumbal and sell them. If it's cargo items, that means they have to go in the cart, and that means I have to go with my cart into the wilderness that's full with monsters. Not a good idea. So I'm assuming that's why they stopped that at planks. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that it should be more resource intensive to compensate for it, because it feels okay at the rate that it is right now. And while, I mean, not everybody's going to be crafting for their own things, but carpentry might not be as interesting a job for people if they have to, like, if me and my buddy are playing the game and I am the carpenter and they're the foresters, they're gonna be progressing a lot faster than me. And in the end, that's probably gonna make us feel bad because we're both working with the same things. Like, maybe I hang around with them when we go gather wood and I kill beasts, and then he comes and hang out with me in town while I craft and we're just chatting. I don't know. But then I won't be able to keep up with their levels, or I'm going to feel like I'm holding them back, or if I'm them, I'm going to feel bad for progressing faster than them. And other people that think different than me might, if they're the forester, they might think I'm just not gonna hang out with them anymore because they, like, I want to go grab tier 5 things and they are still in tier 4. I don't know. There's all kinds of people. I feel like I'm digressing too much. Let's get back to setting up these listings. I want to buy trunks. One trunk will give me 6 pieces of wood. 6 pieces of wood would turn into 3... Hey, Wardox, thanks for the lurk. 6 pieces of wood would turn into 3 planks, which would be worth 30 coin. I think I did my math at some point in a different way, and or I got a different result. Let's see. 1 goes into 6. Oh yeah, that makes sense. And this one is made out of these things at a 1-to-1 ratio. This one is made with 3 of this. Oh, okay, so it's not 6 is not 3 planks, it's 2 planks, so it's 20. That's the number that I had in my head. So I want to buy trunks, and I want people to sell them to me. If I turn them into planks, that's already good for me, which means I'm willing to pay more than those 20 that they would get by doing their whole process, because then I do the process, I get the experience. So I'm going to buy each trunk at 22. I'm gonna buy them at 21. Then would I sell them at 22? So the only reason I would sell them is so that if I just go and gather wood because I'm leveling my forestry, I can just pop these things in here. And if I'm starting to overload, someone might buy them. Right now, that is not the case, so I'm still gonna leave it like that. And the reason somebody would buy one of these at 22 is because they would be able to sell them to Rumbo after finishing for 20 each, like once turned into planks. They would buy 5 of this, do the whole process, get experience, and get 10 planks, and you know, they would sell it at 100. They would have paid 110, so they would be paying 10 hex coins for access to the materials to level up. I mean, I think it's a good deal. We'll see if anybody buys or sells them. Now, the other thing that I actually want to get right now is tools. The main tool that I wanted is a hoe, because believe it or not, what I wanted to do right now was farming. Instead I'm doing a whole bunch of other things, but that was the goal. Firelight hoe. Wait, what was it to make the firelight hoe? Oh, actually, I might grab my 3 shards. Nope. And compendium. A firelight hoe takes 2 firelight ingots, so that would be 20 hex coins. One of these, that's 30 hex coins. One of these, that's probably 10 more, that's 40 hex coins on one of these. So I'm probably gonna post a listing for 50 hex coins and see if I get it. If I don't, then I'll probably up the price. I'm looking to buy. Oh, wait, let me head back. Okay, I'm gonna delete all the listings because, as I mentioned before, I wanted to do this with the barter system. I think that will show them in the map. First offer, bark. 1 bark, I'm going to request hex coin. 1 hex coin. It's an infinite number of orders. As long as I have bark, I will want hex coins. I'm not sure why monkey is running around my stall. Alright. Let me... I just realized that I missed a few more messages from War Dog, so that probably means this is too out of the way. I'm gonna put my chat relay right in front of my face so that I don't miss it. You guys should not see it. They should not show on stream, so it shouldn't be a problem. So the second posting was planks. And I am requesting hex coin for them. And I am requesting 10 hex coins. No, I'm offering one of these. I am selling it for 10. As long as I have planks, I will happily do this trade. Yes. Now next is the buying of said planks, and this is why I mean the new window is so much nicer. It's so easy to just, okay, this is the item, that's the value in hex coins. Do you want to buy it? Do you want to sell it? This is different. This was at offer, at request. This is kind of like it was the old system, and it can still be used as a barter system, which I think is good. It adds another layer of complexity because you have to sort of, I guess, keep more track of what things are worth to try to buy something in exchange of another thing. But for now, I'm going to just use hex coin, which I want hex coin to sort of work. In previous tests, the main problem with hex coin was establishing value, or like what was it worth. That even became exacerbated by a mid-test change where they altered the amount of hex coins that the system was providing the players. Back then it was, I think it was basically just ruins was the only way to get them. No, actually, I remember Rumbao also did those trades. I don't think a lot of people used Rumbao for that. I think I did a few times. Now, if I buy a plank, I would not buy a plank at below rumble value. Maybe I buy it... No. Would I buy it at 10? Because that means they can basically eat my funds and just load me up with plank to save their trip to Rumbo, and I don't get any profit. So it's not worth it for me to allow the use of my stand as just a dump site. Next it was logs, and I want to offer coin for logs. I keep calling it logs, but this is trunks. The logs is the small bits. For each one, I would be offering 21, and I'll buy as many as I can as long as I have money. Probably. Yeah, probably. And I'll save that offer. And then I add the listing where I offer the trunk to other people. So if other people want to use my trunks, it's gonna cost them 22. And as long as I have trunks, that is a trade that I am happy to take. Having sorted that out, I want to offer coin for a Firelight hoe. And I want to pay, is it 50? Now, the main reason that I'm doing it like this is not because it shows in the map. That's actually something I recently, I don't know if the word is if I discovered or if it's something that I suspect. But that this will show in the trade finder, I think, if my stand is not set up in market mode. And the main reason, because that was the thing that I just found out, the main reason is that I can limit the number of orders here. The market mode does not allow me to limit the number of orders. So if I was to place a listing in there requesting Firelight hoe and offering, oh wait, no, this is the other way around. I want, yeah, if they want to give me 50 Firelight hoes for 50 hex coin, that would be nice, but no, this way. If I was to set a listing offering 50 coins for each Firelight hoe, and this was set to infinity, somebody that was working on leveling their what's it called, blacksmithing, would easily just unload all their goods to me, because that's actually you know, we did the math, it was about 40 coins worth of the, well, I guess it would be 50 coin worth of resources, because I can definitely see rope be valued at 10, the same as the other things. I think that's a fair value. I don't think Rumba would buy it. I think Rumba buys cloth, and cloth is made with something that's one step before rope, but then you add fibers, and that's injecting the resource from farming. So I guess 50 would sort of like be fair value, but they could, I mean, yeah, they could know that they are getting fair value for their goods, and if they're leveling, it's probably a good way to do it. I don't want that because I only want the one Firelight hoe, so I'm just gonna place it like this. Let me look at my skills, because What else have I not worked in? I've not worked in farming. I've not worked in hunting. Do I want to hunt? I don't think I do anytime soon. Scholar either. Tailoring. Yeah, probably not either. Cooking. I probably do want to have some cooking. Right now I've been alright just buying food, and I hope it stays that way. If it changes, I'll work on that. For now, my base is to have forestry, or is it forestry, mining, and foraging. These are my focus skills. This is what I want to work in, because I want to build roads. To build roads, you need to clear out trees, you need to clear out rocks, and you need to clear out, I guess, plants and mud and all those things. So these are important. And then masonry makes pebbles. So that's why I also have masonry. I have been working on carpentry mainly just because I want to set up a trader stand that helps people see maybe a functioning way to set up a trading stall. I don't know that it's a functional way yet because I've been doing a lot of fiddling. It has been fairly functional when I fed it a whole bunch of trunks and I fed it a whole bunch of hex coins. It was moving really well. But I was always posting things at below rumble value, so the planks didn't see a lot of movement. I was also buying and selling not just the trunk, but also the wood itself. But that's one more listing slot, and I guess I should, because yeah, I probably should, because carpenters, I mean, I've been doing the trunk because it's good for me. I'm able to crack it and maybe get some amber as a side effect. But yeah, no, okay, this is Crash. Launching again. This in the background, by the way, Chill Hop is what it's the service that is providing the music. It's all freely accessible for streaming, and I like it. So where was my head at? It's so easy to lose track of things here. Oh yeah, I am going to add a listing for wood. So I'll also be offering hex coin. I'll do it for every log that somebody chops up would be 6. That goes into 2 things, so it's gonna, I'm just gonna do the same pricings. This one I would only offer 20 because I'd rather them give me the logs. That's just out of personal preference. And I'm going to add wood. Honestly, I don't really care about the logs because carpentry is not really a skill that I will be planning on focusing on a lot. But I mean, if I'm already doing that. No, not the strip log. Wood. Rough wood log. Here we go. That one. You go away. And I would buy 6. The amount of orders are... It's gonna be set at infinity, so as long as there is money, people can spam all those things here. However, because I'm going to be selling the 6 logs for 21, maybe carpenters will grab them, so I'm hoping it sort of evens out. And then the next listing is offering the actual wood for sale by requesting 20 hex coins, and as long as I have rough wood, 21 hex coins, I'm okay with that trade. That seems about right. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there. The question is, do I want to get it? Do I want to get the ball rolling? I probably do. I did this before too. Oh. Because there's a tree nearby, that makes my choice a lot easier. So by get the ball rolling, what I mean is I'm going to dump a few logs and a few woods, a few trunks and a few logs, really. That's what I should be referring to them as, into the trading stall. That way somebody goes in there, will see all the listings, and they'll see, oh, okay, these guys got trunks, and maybe they won't buy them now, but they'll remember, and maybe they'll buy it later. And maybe it'll be my trunks, or maybe it'll be the trunks from someone that says, oh, these guys buying trunks. And then the next time they go, you know, level up their forestry, they know that they can just dump all of their trunks in there. For that, I would need a bunch of hex coins to get things started as well. So I'm going to sell the planks that I have, and that should be about 1200 plus 3 that I have, about 1500 hex coins, hopefully enough to, I guess, keep everything greased and functioning, and we'll see. Let me try to I'm gonna just advertise my Pyrolite request a little bit. I do think I need to, because, I mean, you guys saw the difference between the barter type stall and the market mode. The market mode is a lot cleaner. It is definitely an improvement in terms of like user friendliness. There's functionalities that we have lost if we use it. There's also the thing about the map. I'm actually going to talk with the voices in my head again to try to test that out. So if you hear me speaking and apparently I'm getting a reply, it's because it's the people in my Discord again. Well, not my Discord, actually. I'm in the voice chat in the main Bitcraft Discord, and it's the people there. Hello, is anybody online right now? Okay, would you mind hitting J to open the trade finder and search, turn the filters so that the NPCs are off and see if my market stall shows. I have a theory. Yeah, you go trade finder, there's show filters, so that will display the filters, and the bottom one, hide travelers. Okay, so you don't see mine. The thing is, what I've noticed with those is that oh, never mind. Because the ones that were showing when I was looking at it showed people that didn't have the market mode. They had the barter mode. I don't know if you guys know that when you hit your trader stall, if you go to the bottom of the listings, I think you can toggle between market mode on and off. Yeah, well, the thing is, a lot of them were showing with the old mode, so I thought that was the key, but no, it might just be a matter of the finder only shows trader stalls that are not in the starting areas. I'm assuming it's something like that. I just want those things to work because trading, well, better than before, the main tool, which is the trade finder window, just doesn't feel like it's fulfilling its purpose to me. Well, I'm gonna mute myself again. See you guys around. Alright. Hey, it's a mango. Thank you very much for the raid. That's how was the stream? How long were you on? You were on since like the first time that I just dropped into Twitch. That was probably a long stream. Hello Willow Listener, hello Cooler SK. Sorry, I got distracted there for a second. What was I doing? Yes, chopping wood. So Mango, do you get to level 40 hunting yet? Holy, still 14 hours stream is long. Yeah, I might do another 24-hour gameplay session. I'll probably also not stream the full 24 hours. Mostly because at home I just cannot really stream too late at night. Thin walls and all that, and neighbors complain. Oh, okay. What do you mean you set yourself up for success? Anything that you can share, or is it a trade secret? Not as free to be loud and silly? What do you mean? I think there's plenty of ways to be loud and silly. Mango? What do you mean with not being able to be loud and silly? Oh. Yeah. I guess that's... Getting gear definitely feels like it's been a bottleneck. Like, I'm actively trying to not lean on any group to gear up, I want to try to have as close to a solo experience as possible. Are we crashing? Are we crashing? Yes, we're crashing. Like have a more as much of an isolationist even in terms of how I get stuff. I mean, I did get a cool set of armor from War Dogs, but it's not really Iron Manning it. It's basically just like the devs have expressed that that's one of the things that they want to improve on, like a player sort of being able to be more independent from the claim or settlement layer of gameplay. And for me, that also means being able to get access to equipment, basically. Right now that feels like, yeah, tailoring leveling is rough. But I mean, somebody that wants to grind, that doesn't have a lot of screen time and just wants a nice grindy task to sit there and do, tailoring is wonderful. If you set up a trading stall next to the what's it called, like the fivers area and the tailoring area, you can set it up so that you can probably get all the things that you need to get coin. The one thing that's a drawback for tailoring is there is no, I guess, solo path to hex coin, because the thing that Rumbo buys is the cloth, and you need something from farming, so that adds a layer of difficulty. But other than that, I think tailoring can be pretty easy to just set up long tasks and be there. But going back to Will of the Sinner, it's not really that I want to Iron Man it. I just want to see if certain type of gameplay is viable and what isn't working and how it could be improved. I'm showing on multiple accounts? I'm not sure what you mean, Bisker. Hey, thanks for the follow, Willow the Sinner. And I'll take good care of your soul, don't worry about it. Mango equals black cat? Oh, I had no idea. Mango is also wolf, so Mango is everyone. Oh, I only chopped one from that tree? See, that's what I get for getting distracted. We are many, but... Yes, I am but one. Does any of you know the Bobbyverse series of books? We are many, we are Bob. So good. If anybody likes sci-fi and likes reading, I strongly recommend it. I think it's up to 4 books right now. It's super cool. Like the premise of it, we're crashing. I guess we're crashing. Looks like we're crashing. Probably will crash. So the premise of it is there's this guy, Bob, who I think sets up some sort of pharmaceutical success thing and gets super rich. And then at a party, some salesman convinces him to sign up for this thing where if you die, they'll freeze your brain. No, they'll freeze your body and then revive you when it, you know, eternal life is scientifically viable and all that jazz. So, you know, he's drunk, he's happy, he's celebrating, he signs, he pays, whatever. And next, he wakes up because he wakes up in like in darkness or something like that, and is basically, he realized that he died. and he is now a disembodied thing because the body was not salvageable. They only salvaged the brain, but it's also not the same company that he signed up with. Things have changed, there's been World War III, and now people that have been frozen have been used as basically AI. They're not considered people, they're considered intelligences, and they're used as labor, as slaves basically. And you know, through a series of things that I won't really go deep into, because if anybody's interested they should read it. This is all happening on the first few chapters. He escapes and self-replicates. So we are Legion, we are Bob. It is really fun. It is really, really fun. It's like, I want to talk a lot about it because there's so much fun stuff about it, but I also feel that if anybody's excited about it, they should definitely read it, so I don't want to spoil anything. And it's pretty much impossible to say anything about something that just the intro also feels like it should be the spoiler to a major movie. So Mango, you're gonna be hanging out as Black Cat here? Yeah, definitely. We have to hang out in BC at some point. I'm probably only gonna be streaming today for another hour or so, because otherwise I would have to go to whisper mode, and I don't know that's a good idea. What places tests have I been in? So far, I think all of them. This is the third one. That was in the previous ones. Have you been playing just this one, or did you also try some of the previous iterations of it? Half dead? I'm impressed that you're not fully dead, Mango. So does it actually increase the stamina regain? Because I did like I used the command just sort of when I'm hanging out, I'll just sit because it's weird to just stand there. Oh, you're from Alpha 1? I mean, Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 were pretty much the same thing. I guess Alpha 2 introduced the rare drops and the whole scholar system, I think. Seems to me. I can't really, like, they become a bit of a blur at this point. But I mean, for the most part, I feel like Alpha 1 and 2 were very similar. Well, yeah, regenerating stamina as long as you're fed tends to be about right. I love that it feels like the fullness is not going down as bad as it was earlier. I mean, oh, right now I have food, so I couldn't test it. So if I find myself with lower stamina and no food buff and I remember it, I will try it out as well. Alright, did that fill up my cart? Not nearly. I don't know if I'm hitting trees that are already, like, half dead. Or if they reduced the drop rate from trees. It felt like I was not killing as many trees to fill up my cart before. fullness is supposed to be set at -1 every minute. I don't know that there's anything that alters it. Let's see, in our detail stats, what do we have here? Is there any satiation capacity? I don't think there's anything here that you would consider related to altering the satiation or fullness level. Yeah, you do have regeneration without food. I think it showed. Does it show when you here? No, is it also part of these? Passive, yeah, you have the passive stamina regen, which is this, and that's always there. And the active is the bonus that I have right now. So it is like considerably slower. Huh, interesting that there's absolutely no... Oh wait, no, there is. Huh, why don't I have active health regen? What does this give me? This should give me passive health regen at 0.25. Or I have no idea what that means then. Well, they did say their tooltips sometimes had numbers that did not correspond with reality. Although I think they meant more these things, or... I don't know. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted to look at. This is it. This is weird. Maybe it's adding it up here instead of here. If the moment this goes down, which is in 32 seconds, this changes to 0.25, it means that it's adding it up here and not here. So if that's the case, I'll probably just add a quick bug report. I'm still chopping wood. What's the timer? 10 more seconds. Well, that basically tells the story. It is adding in the wrong place. See, right now that went to 0, as it should. But if I eat something, this will go to 75, and instead of this going to 75, that goes to 1. Interesting. Alright, that's enough wood. Where's town? Wait. That way. I always get so disoriented. Alright, while I walk there, I'm gonna just type down this quickly. How will I word it? What's this thing called? Detailed statistics. So, in the detailed statistics window, the active buffs for health regen are adding up to the passive regen number instead of the active regen number. That should be clear enough. If they have any questions, they can always ask me. Alright, so I'm not sure if I explained this before, but what I'm doing here by filling up this market stall with logs is that I'm trying to set up a working trading hub, I guess, like specialized cart. A specialized hub for carpentry slash forestry. So I have these things set up. For planks, I'm basically just an exchange. People can drop. Oh no, it's not an exchange. It's a profitable setup. So I would buy them for 10, which is the same as Rumba. And if somebody wants planks, they could buy them. No, I would buy them at 9. Yes, I offer 9. This is what I offer. This is why this is the market mode, and this is what everybody's used to. If I do this in market mode, then the pyrolite hoe that I need, anybody could sell me a whole bunch of them and just kill my stack of coins, which is actually already dead right now, which is beyond the point. I had it on barter mode, so turning this off, because I wanted to offer 50 hex coins in order to buy a pyrolite hoe. And I just want that to be done once. This number of orders option is not available in the market mode. The market mode's a lot nicer. It's more user friendly, but it's I guess slightly more functionally restricted. You can only buy and sell for hex coins. In the barter mode, you can still offer like trading an Oromite axe for a saw. I don't know why you would do that, but you can do it. But what I mean is, like, the barter system is still alive in that way. The market mode is limited to hex coins. I think having the market mode be the default is good because it's forcing people to think more in hex coins, and I think that's important. I feel in previous tests, hex coins value was not very transparent. There also was Rumba that would buy things, but I don't know that a lot of people knew that he did. And, you know, deciding you want to carry a full set of things to sell to Rumba for hex coins when you don't really know that there's gonna be any use for those hex coins probably was not very appealing to people, especially since you had to find the trader. One of the really good things about the trade finder right now as it is that it'll show you where they are. Like, if I want to find Varo and Lara, I can, it's the ones that have 11 offers. I've learned this because I've looked at things for a while, so I know that, you know, around here there's a Lyro and Varo. If I need it to get a nice little mask like the one that I already got, then I would go there, but I already have it because can't live without it. But yeah, I think previously hex coins were a bit of a, at least for me, they were a bit unclear. The market mode helps most people set up their trade stalls with hex coins, either selling or buying something, and that's already a big step forward in terms of trading, and people are more aware of what the value of things is in terms of hex coins, simply for having Rumba in town and knowing that you can make a whole bunch of planks and sell them, which actually was what I was going to do before going out and gathering those materials. I had made a whole bunch of planks to get a whole bunch of hex coins so that I could fund this setup. And so then, if foresters want to sell their wood, I am offering 21 hex coin for each log, because if I go through the whole process and sell things to Rumbo, I would be making 20 back, which is a loss at me, but I want this thing to be alive. That's why the first thing that I did was to try to get hex coin, because then if somebody's a carpenter and people are selling this here because maybe they don't want to do carpentry, and this is basically getting them the end result of planks in terms of hex coins, then other people that do want to do carpentry can buy it at 22. And then this does keep the funds alive. And basically the same deal with rough wood logs. Okay, I don't think this is not supposed to be... Can I change this listing? Not letting me change this listing. This is supposed to be 6 or 21. Well, I'll fix that later. Basically, one of these turns into 6 of this, so I would do about the same, although in here I would go to the Roomba value, and then I would also be willing to sell them for a little bit more than I would buy them at. But yeah, this is the reason that I am filling this with wood. And just to get the other part of it rolling, I wanted to make maybe about 60 of this, and I'm gonna drop those logs there. This is basically just an experiment, so I'm just gonna leave it there untouched. If I get the pyrolite hoe, then I'll be happy, because I want to do a little bit of farming. Probably I'll do that off stream, not because I wouldn't show you farming, but just because I will have to be logging, well, closing up the stream in about an hour or a bit less than an hour to not disturb my neighbors, and then I can just keep playing probably for another many hours. I don't know how long, we'll see. I'm probably not as hardcore as Mango, but I also am known to sink vast amounts of hours into Bitcraft. Alright, so I grab these things here and pop them in here, and that as well. I'm not sure if I also want to make listings for these things. Like, I feel I could probably post them at 1 hex coin and maybe they would sell. I guess this is an experiment, so I might as well. So, listings, let's see if it'll let me... No, it doesn't let me modify that listing. I probably messed it up on the market mode, and it won't let me modify it on the other mode, so probably have to go here and then have it like that and save it. I will, that's 5 listings, I will take advantage of being here. Might need to get you to clip something. Try pausing your task, typing /sit, and then continuing the task. Sure. After I hit 100 and... Okay, so just to make sure I get what you mean, you want me to... No, I'm gonna need more instructions. Try me again. One thing that I do want to take advantage of now that I'm not fed is I am going to sit and see how long it takes. It seems to be the same rate. Yeah, I don't have a timer in front of me, but it feels about the same rate as just standing up. So, maybe not? No, yeah, it is the same. it looked different because I moved around, I think. Have an active task in my workstation that cost me stamina. Sit down, then while sitting down, start the task after I've hit the max. Okay. Open something here. So I have an active task. I sit and then I start it. So that's a task. I sit and then no, it's still going down. I'm not sure if I did it the way that, like, if I follow the steps that you wanted me to follow. Did I follow the steps that you wanted me to follow? Or is it just... Could be. Oh, maybe I didn't wait until it was actually max stamina. Well, let's try that again. I sit, I'm sitting down. Let's wait a bit. Oh, you crashed twice while sitting? So you're trying to get me to crash. Okay, that's nice. I mean, it is a test, and I do enjoy testing things, so... that sounds good. Okay, so I'm at 50. I am sitting. Oh, I can just write down the timing and send Box a message or send Jordan a message. Okay, we're crafting. Yeah, no, it's still going down. So I'm not sure what kind of like if it was the same thing or if it's something that maybe happens with a specific station, or I don't know. Right now there's so many weird ways in which the game just crashes. Like sometimes I feel like it's just moving the camera around and then moving or doing something or opening a menu while you do all that. Sometimes it doesn't like it and it crashes. And sometimes I'm just standing perfectly still, doing nothing, or like maybe like I was standing still and I alt-tabbed and was doing something else, and then when I get back to the game it turns out that it had crashed and I hadn't really done anything. It's hard to tell. For the moment it does seem that there are many sources for crashes. And I don't know that it'll be very easy for them to sort that out at the moment. I'm sure that they're wrecking their brains to try to figure out what specific things do that. So every time someone, like you right now, finds something that could be replicable, then it's definitely something worth trying. Yeah, from what I understand, they are getting logs and logs and logs. From what I understand, they're actively checking things and then trying to identify problems and fix them as the test goes on, while other teams are trying to see what they can implement as the test goes. And so it's basically everybody working on everything. And then when the game goes down, when the server goes down, there's not only working on the next test, but there's also a lot of going more thoroughly through logs, especially crash reports and that kind of thing. So yeah, like things that we might not really notice are probably gonna be noticed once they find like hundreds of very similar crashes. Then they can probably with that information, try to, you know, replicate them and find fixes for them. Alright, so what was I going to do now? Oh yes, I have to redo this. See, in here, it will not let me limit this to a single trade. So this on market mode by default is gonna be infinite. I don't want it to be infinite, so I'm gonna delete it. These are all good. Actually, that is weird, that 1-to-1. Alright, so I have 7 trade listings, and I'm going to add a new listing. Again, I am offering hex coin, and that is 50... no, not 500. 50 hex coin. Imagine paying 500 hex coin for a pyrolite hole. And I want it to be just a one-time save, and it is here. And I can just leave that. It's stuck with... oh, it's not stuck with money anymore? See, somebody already is making good use of it. They dumped all the rough trunks. Because I want to... okay, see, there's a crash. I was turning at the same time as I clicked the station. Which is one of the things that I feel that triggers it, but I haven't been able to accurately replicate it. Probably because it's a result of an instinctive, like, memory muscle movement. Like, I hit, you know, I click to move, I hit D to turn the camera at the same time that my eyes track the table and my finger clicks on it. It's something that, it's very muscle memory. If I try to replicate it, it's usually, or probably not the same timing or not the same way. But yeah. Because right now, I do want to... let's do a full 30. I do want to keep the coins in there. Like, it's really nice that somebody is already finding it like a good spot to drop their logs. I probably should also sell these things in there, because this is my advantage of buying the logs. Like, I get amber from that. Beyond getting the carpentry experience and getting the planks to Rumbo and then making my money back, almost. I believe I'm buying them at 21 hex coin per trunk, which means when I buy 5 of them, I am paying 5 more hex coins than I get from the planks that I sell to Rumbo. So, like, honestly, it's a really good deal. If I was going to focus on carpentry, like, this is what I would do. It's not what I'm aiming for. And sadly, for the thing to work, there needs to be coin in there. Otherwise, I'm not even gonna be able to buy my hoe. Maybe while I buy the hoe, I'll just set it up at 20. No. Maybe I'll just turn off the buying... I mean, my buying of logs for now. Probably I'll just do that until I get the hoe. If I get the hoe, then that thing can run its course. I always forget to eat. Oh, there was another bug. I don't know if any of you have encountered this, so like, I don't know if it happens also with the arrow keys. I would imagine it does. it doesn't happen when you move your camera with the mouse, I think. But when you move it with WASD, sometimes after you bring it all the way down, it won't go up. I don't know how to replicate it, and it doesn't always happen. But sometimes having moved it all the way down, there, you can hear me probably mashing that W key. It's not going up. Now, side to side it's moving, now it's unlocked. Sometimes it just locks, and I don't understand why. It did it on the previous test as well. I can't remember if I reported it actually, so let me just make myself a note to report the camera movement thing, and I have the timestamp of 150 in the VOD to make the clip later. What was I doing? Oh yeah, actually I do want to make planks right now. Well, first I want to... it's not gonna let me modify this right now. Is it? Huh. So why are you letting me modify this thing, but not these two? I mean, I could... I could make a 3 pages of what I would think of bug reports regarding the trader stand and the trade finder, and I've already had lengthy messages to Voxel that I know, like he's told me I'll read the whole thing later because they're probably getting overflowed with a bunch of things, but yeah, there's... The way I see it, the camera might be on a lockable gyroscope? Huh. Oh, you mean like... Yeah, because like I move it to one side. Yeah, that makes sense. If I move it to the left, when I release the key, it's still sort of to smooth the movement. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Then somehow, like, because it encounters the bottom, it locks, and since it cannot go further left or further right, like it cannot do this motion, if I just slam it down, no, it's not. But that's the thing, it's not every time. It might have to do something with it though. But yeah, I'm not gonna be able to change that right now, and I do need to have a few more funds in there. So I'm just gonna do... What? Should I just do all 90? Let's do 70. So hitting the gap where it gets locked together. Well, what you mean is like there's a... let me reread to try to see if I understand what you mean. I'm not familiar with how it works, like how the actual like system would work. I have absolutely zero computer design, programming, or anything knowledge. It's just some things seem logical, some things don't, and this does seem or feel like a logical explanation. So you're saying when the two axes merge, they become one axis, yes, and soon after the server unlocks it. So the axis would be the flat plane. What you mean is that when it hits the flat plane, it gets there's a gap where it gets stuck together. I don't really understand what you mean by the gap. Bitcraft literally solves world hunger. What conversations are happening around me? Is that in global? Ah, that's why. Global's always a trip. Oh, what I was talking about before, the whole trading thing is because the way I see it, there's, haven't counted them, but there are pillars to the game. Like one pillar is skill progression. That is clearly the pillar that they have been focusing on the most. And I mean, it's not a bad approach. I would not call it wrong. I think it makes sense that they would want to do it that way, because that's the pillar that more immediately affects the player. But then there's other pillars that I think are really important. Trade, of course, is one of them. They are like, it's also one that they have clearly said they value and it's important to them, and it's clear that they are working or trying to find ways to make it work. Some things players like better, some things players don't like as much. Some things are just things that they probably know that they want to do, but they're in the back burner because there's also other things to do, which is fair. But that's a second pillar. The third pillar for me is the social aspect of it, and the step they took this test to make claims public and set up a full-on starting town. Like, I know they were probably really trying to figure out a way where there was no pre-made anything and everything was made by players. And maybe that would even work just by making claims publicly accessible, like in terms of everybody have access, full-on access to crafting stations. It would probably be a bit of a rough beginning when the server begins, but I think there's enough experienced players out there that a settlement such as these wouldn't take too long to sprout. I know that there were groups that were actively planning on doing just that this test. I know Artelis was working with, or planning with, I can't remember all the people that were involved, but I remember they were talking about setting up a sort of mega claim where, like, in the starting biome, where everybody that went there would have access to the stations, and that's basically what this is. This has just been made by the devs. I don't think that it needs to have been done by the devs. I think that it's still something that could be done by players. I absolutely love the aesthetics that the devs have, so on that side, I mean, I do like it. And like for day one launch, it definitely would allow players that are encountering Bitcraft for the first time to not feel lost, because I think that was a bit of a common feeling for anyone that just went into Bitcraft for the first time. I don't think it's a bad feeling. Like, I think it makes sense. The first Bitcraft test that I did, I was basically lost too, and I just followed the tutorial with Wisp and like slowly started to see what everything was and how everything worked. And that's actually like, it's normal for a new player to feel lost as long as you have tools or guides, then you can find yourself or find your way. The stations, yeah, it definitely has to do with what we have become used to in previous tests. Like if you came into this test as a first-time tester, you would basically be sent here at the beginning of your encounter with the town, right? You get here, you're sent to set this at home, right? So right now you don't know anything. Your first instinct as a new player wouldn't be, where's my crafting station, where's my mining station? Your first instinct would be more of a, let's explore this place. Look at it. It's big. It's very big. Come around, look at the fountain. This is really pretty. Like if you really just want to go out and gather things, you would probably just go out and do that. And then when you would come back here, you would only be worried about the one thing. Like if you went out and chopped wood, you would probably come back and ask around, does anyone know where I can process this? And somebody would probably point you here. That's true. It's not very well signaled. It would be really cool if you went here and you clicked, if there was something similar to these markers. This tells me that they are able to point a player to a thing via a menu. So if they had this thing here, and it would by default point them to the closest station for that job, then it would be super easy. You would just, like, they would explain this to you at the beginning, at the tutorial, and then you go out, you gather wood, you click here, and then like the map is tracking my quest objective now. Maybe it would track the station and it would bring me here, and then I would just do my thing. But then also, it's only been like 3 days that the test is up. I did actively dedicate a few minutes during the beginning of the test to figure out where everything was and just make sense of it. I used the bank as orientation so that I know, okay, the bank is here. If I'm facing the bank, then on the left I have the carpentry and woodworking area, then I have the scholar and fishing, then I have the cooking, then I have the leather working, and so on. And then to the right I have, you know, the tailoring, and farming I believe is around here, and I think this is smelting, and I haven't really been here a lot. But then to the south you have the mining and masonry. So like, well, this is not the south, this is actually the north, because I am orienting myself with the bank, but the bank is to the south. That's just me being picky. I would orient this town, I would flip it 180 degrees so the bank faces north, because, you know, having been born in the northern hemisphere, for me north is up, and that looks like up. But yeah, it's definitely been some adjustment for people that have done previous tests to find out where everything is. But if you look at it from the perspective of a new player, it's really nothing more than just getting used to where everything is, the same way that the first time that you went to a claim that maybe a friend invited you to, you would have to learn where everything is. Now, having said that, what I was saying before, beyond the fact that I absolutely love the aesthetics of this town, it doesn't feel like it's something that needs to be pre-made. It gives players a really good idea of, you know, what a claim could look like. I'm assuming at some point we're gonna be able to build really cool structures like the walls here, and making actual walls and like actual tiled floors like this one. So like the end goal would probably be making something that looks like this but new, and that's a really good, like, a really cool idea to look forward to. But I forgot what brought me to this topic? I think, oh, the pillars, social, chat. Chat sucks. I don't think I can say it in any, like, I don't think I need to say it in any more words. I don't think I think it's functional in terms of we need a bare bones way to communicate with people around us and with people that are not around us, and that fills that need barely. Friends list, being able to, like, right now I can see the people around me are blue dots. It would be really cool if I had a friend list and then my friends were green or a different color. Right now I can see blue dots probably around this radius around me. It would be really cool if I could see friends anywhere in the world. So like if my friend is out here in the woods, if I was able to say, oh, okay, here's my friend, I'm going to walk that way. Right now we're just all basically learning the coordinate system out of necessity because the game doesn't have the functionalities to support a more social type of gameplay. And from my perspective, that's one pillar that feels neglected. Again, it's clear that they're focusing on the main pillar for them, which is progression, which makes sense. I think it, from my perspective, it's already in a good enough state that they can worry about fine-tuning and balancing later and bring up those other pillars that are missing something. Again, main pillar that feels neglected is social. The secondary pillar that clearly they have taken steps forward in this test, although it still feels like there's issues, which makes sense. I mean, this is the first test that we have Trade Finder. Of course it's gonna need work at first. Of course there's gonna be problems. I still don't really fully understand where or by which criteria does it show player trades, because I have seen player trades at some points. Like earlier on I opened the Trade Finder and had that off, and there were trades there from people in Napoli, I think is Laniday's claim's name. I never know if it's like I understand it's Naples and Napoli would be the Italian word for it, but I can never be sure. And you know, there was some posts from someone in Tortuga at some point, so clearly there's a way for us to know where things are and where to buy them and where to sell them, but it's not quite fully functional. And then the other thing, regular trader stalls have a maximum of 10 offers, which is basically 3 buy-sell offers. It doesn't feel it doesn't feel enough. Even more so because, as you can see, you can only deploy one stall. I understand they don't want more clutter. It's already kind of cluttered as it is. If we were able to have somewhere in here toggle like deployable, like other people's deployables markers on and off, that would help. Then you can sort of like turn it off if you're not really going to be buying things, turn it on if you want to find someone's specific place. Even if they're off, maybe like if you click here, it would be nice if it shows not just view trader stand, but in here show view Kruger's trader stand. That would be good. That would be useful to get rid of the clutter, and still, like, you could toggle that off, so with you would not see all that. Like in here you would actually not see anything. In here you would only see the ancient forestry station, the scholar station, you know, your own stand, the carpentry station, and everything else would just not show. And it would look so much cleaner, and it would make navigating town so much easier. And that's really the main reason why I think that they would not want more than one trader stand per player, because they don't want... If we are still limited to 4 deployables, which I haven't tested because until just now I only had 4 deployables, and I can still not deploy more than 2 stalls, so I still cannot test the limit of deployables. But if they want to keep that limit, then somebody could just get 4 of these, like this, the regular one, the improved, and so on, and just have all 4 of them. I understand why they might not want that. I think it would be a valid thing for that player. I think if somebody wants to focus on trading, if they actually want to be a trader, and they have access to like 4 trading stands, they could have, you know, probably the lowest level one, which has the least slots, you would use in the higher tier area, and then you would put your stalls in like 4 different towns, set up trades that allow you to leave those trades on in each town, and you just circle around the towns, moving the things that you buy in one to the other one, and then you drop them and grab the ones that you buy in the other one and bring it to a third one, and so on. But for that you would need to have more stands. Again, that's more of the work that I feel that needs to be done in terms of trading. Let me think what other pillars there could be. Progression, social, trading. I don't know if you guys can think of another thing that you would consider should be a pillar of what this game is, that could be mentioned in a different way. The thing is, progression, skill progression is linked to so many things. Like, it's linked to resource distribution and respawn, which they've worked on as part of the main skill progression loop. I guess the decoration slash aesthetics could also be a pillar. What sound neat? Yeah, you could just you could just work with other work with other traders. Yeah, you can definitely work with other people and like co-own stands. See, it's probably what will happen if things stay as they are. There's gonna be alts because player A cannot have more than 1 stall. Player A is going to have 1 alt in each other big town whose only job is going to be online so that your stall is online. You're actually being a really strong point against limiting trader stands. I had not thought of it because I don't multi-box. I never have, because at certain times because my computer just wouldn't support it. At other times because like the times that I've tried it, I find it boring. In very few games I think I've like really had one. There was an old game called Voyage Century Online, I think it wasn't that one, that I did multi-box because it involved, like, it was the sailing era, you know, the 1700s. You would have a ship, and you would travel from A to B, and you could have either a trade focused ship, like a battle focused ship, or an exploration focused ship. so exploration ships were fast, and that's sort of what drew me first. So, you know, I had my ship, and I would go around, and I would already, like, I will always buy a little bit of cargo here to sell there, but because it was a faster ship, it always had less cargo, and I would just go around and explore. And then at some point, just to make more profit each trip, I set up an alt that was a trader boat, and I would just be towing them around, because it made sense, because everybody was doing it, so not doing it meant progressing slower. But in general, I don't like to do it. I don't care as much about progressing as fast as everyone else anymore, and that's part of it. Like, I put so many hours in Bitcraft over previous tests that I, like in the last test, I was fairly high in the leaderboards, but not because I wanted to be in the leaderboards. It was really just a result of playing for longer than most, and I think that should always be the case. Like, I don't think anyone should feel like they need to make more, like, to play with two games in order to make their one gaming experience good enough to have fun. That was a long rant, sorry. Alright, back to crafting. I was running out of food. But going back to the many pillars, I was thinking decoration or aesthetics is one thing that's not happened. I guess that I don't know how I would define it. It has a social aspect to it because people would want to make pretty or cool things to show off or share with others. So there's a social element to it, but not exclusively. I think there's a personal expression element to it, decorating, and I think that's one pillar that it's clearly it should be the last in the list of priority, but it's definitely something that I think we could already have a little bit more than what we have. No, it's getting fairly late here, so I'm only gonna be on for another 15 minutes or so. Let me start seeing who's on. Klausvisker, Painted CZ, Ratsky, and the Geek No. So I'll probably be rating Visker after this. Let me head back. I'd say they can take it two ways: monetizing custom different stations and our fully new models, or I'm interested in the ore, and then we'll comment both points. Well, while you finish typing the ore, monetizing custom or different stations and models, I think that for me that's what I expected would be the monetization model for the game, just because in my head it made sense. Getting the community to craft via content in a forum setup, showing off what they can do, and then getting the lead modeler to make it. That actually would be pretty cool, and you should definitely send that suggestion to Voxel. The devs very famously love fan art, and like they love all the things that fans make, fans with artistic talent, which I lack, but love to see what people do, and the devs love it too. Many of the stickers and emotes that you see in the forum were made by players. They made a meme contest at some point too, so they definitely could make like a concept art content or something like that, and just like give, I guess, keys and maybe shards as a reward. I don't know. That sounds like a cool thing, and I'm sure they would do it. You should definitely you can probably just DM Voxel, or just like add Voxel in the Discord and you know, bring the idea, or post it in feedback. But yeah, no, that definitely is something that, like, you said one thing or another, but I think both things should happen. If I'm honest, both the monetization model where you can have cool skins, and definitely also like what community inspired in-game artwork. Like I don't know how I would title it, but yeah, that would definitely be really cool. They also mentioned at some point when they were sort of like showcasing Spacetime DB. Spacetime DB is the like the database that they made and are using for the game, that it would work as modules. Again, I am not a developer, I don't really understand the concepts beyond a very superficial notion of them, but from what they described, it's meant to work in a way where you could allow community generated content in a modular way, where some modules could be created by a third party, by other people, and then sort of like add it to the game. I don't really understand the extent of what can be done and what can't be done and all of that, but yeah, basically just imagine the amount of community content that would entail. I don't know if they could make like actual graphic add-ons. Maybe they would need to be vetted, and you know, they would definitely need to figure out a way to do that and a system to make it viable, and also in a way that it wouldn't just evolve to people making X-rated skins for the game, which is something that would definitely happen, you know, TTP, right? But yeah, that's I would call it a pillar of the game, because I think the visual appeal of the game is one of its main selling points, one of the more attractive parts of aspects of it, and I think we're a bit limited in what we as players can do in the world, aesthetically speaking. So that's another pillar that I would say. Then we're talking about 4 pillars, which is good. Now we have a solid roof on our heads. But yeah, this would definitely not be the highest priority. I agree the highest priority is what they're working on. Just to round up the stream with a summary of this last hour of ranting. If I was to say what were the 4 pillars of Bitcraft just right now, there's probably more if I was to think more on it. The first one is the skill progression, which has been the main focus from the devs so far, which makes sense. I think it's at a point where, while still important that they keep working on it, it's come to the point where they really need to pay attention to the other ones. At least the second one, which they already started in this test, which is pillar number 2, trade. I guess the in-game economy. There's steps that have been taken. There are tools that we've been given. The tools need to work properly, which makes sense. They have just been implemented, and it makes sense that they need to make them workable based on what we find that works and what we find that doesn't work. The next pillar is the social aspect that feels very neglected. Probably the reason behind this neglect is the fact that the community is a wonderful community that's really active in Discord, and it's probably not felt like it's necessary to focus too much on it from the devs. I believe that is a mistake. I think it definitely is something that they need to at least start working on by, working on the very basic thing, which is a better chat function and a basic friends list or friends communication system. And then finally, a fourth pillar that I think would be important for the game is the design, the aesthetic, the cosmetic element of it, for which we basically only have a few rudimentary things, and yeah, they're likely to go deeper on it later, and they definitely should focus on that later. I think there are higher priorities right now. I do agree, Wood should need to lean on Steam/Discord. I'm not sure exactly what. Shouldn't need to. Yes, exactly. You should not depend on an external source for an element that has so much importance in game. Yes, 100% agreed there. And on that note, it is midnight here. I don't want to bother my neighbors, so I'm going to be ending the stream here and raiding Visker. So thank you very much, everyone that joined. Thank you very much for the follow there, Willow. I hope to see you again. I will be streaming Bitcraft for probably the whole duration of the test. I don't have a set schedule, so there will be times that I'll have really long streams. There will be times that there will be shorter streams. I basically will be, yeah, it really depends on day-to-day workload. So yeah, I will probably be spending a lot of time on the game. So hopefully we'll also get to hang out in game. Thank you again, everyone, and let's raid Visker. 1 second. How does he type his name? There we go. Nope, that was not. Oh, slash. Noob streamer. All right. Again, thank you everyone for hopping around. I hope you have a wonderful day, and off we go.